And unfortunately, I can no longer play my mutt. What we can do is we still can play the mine. God, we are so close. I think we did it, guys. I just need to play this one. Oh yeah, we definitely did it. Yes, guys, we did it! Let's go! Yo! Oh, guys, I can't tell you how much this victory means to me. Like and subscribe, guys. Share with your friends. Oh, I'd love this to get big. I'd love this, some people to see this. At least that game. What's up, everybody? Blake the Scholar Magic, and I got one of those, you know, special, just chill videos for you today. This is kind of like preambling, kind of a more competitive Meria deck that we're going to be working on. But I am just so extremely fond of this particular card. Let's make sure we apply our styles here. And make sure we get that one slotted in. Apply the styles. Thank you. All right. So what makes this card go? Well, I'd say it likes big green things. It tends to do well with the graveyard in general, I would say. Like skipping your curve is kind of a really nice thing to do with Meria. So just to start, like with the unearthed cards, I say it's probably a good call. Like Amishra's Desk is nice. Scrapwork Mud is nice. Your Phyrexian Dragon Engine is a nice card engine. Simulant Simulacrum is pretty good if we're like in like a constructed format, maybe, you know, if we're just getting aggro. But we can kind of, you know, get a little more value, right? Cityscape Leveler's cool as well. Perennial Behemoth is not the worst option either. I mean, honestly, I think it actually works pretty well for this deck. I'm not gonna lie. Especially what we're going to be doing with it. Like, so let's start here, and let's see how we build a graveyard and kind of the payoffs for it. So just off the top of my head, cards that put like a mass amount of, like, you know, cards into the grave, you know, like your Mesmeric's Orbs, for instance. Let's get this over here. I just want that slot. This card will basically mill a ton of cards into your graveyard. So it's a really nice card to, you know, kind of just get those cards in and, you know, start taking value out of your graveyard. It does help your opponents too, if they're taking advantage of their graveyard too. But often, over and the not, if we're setting up our deck to be like attuned to our graveyard, it should benefit us more. And we can tap this for mana too. That's the thing about Meria. She can tap all of these for mana at any given point if we're not attacking with them. If they are summoning sick, we can just tap them for green, for a single green mana, which is amazing. Or you could tap 2 down at once and exile the top card of your library you may play at this turn. So really nice stuff there in general. Some other cards that are just kind of good at just like providing incremental value to like get cards in your graveyard is like your Dragon Rage Channelers of the world. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Surveil 1, that's nice. Also, the Sarenth Steel Seeker. This guy is nuts. This guy can put a ton of lands into your hand because each time you play an artifact, you can reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land, you just put it right in your hand. It's really good. Otherwise, you can put it right in your graveyard, so you can really kind of get juicy, kind of like have a lot of selection. Also, just like repeatable kind of stuff going into the graveyard. Your Volatile Wanderglyph is really good with Meria because not only can you like do impulse drawing with this, when you tap it, it will also you give you the option to discard a card if you do draw. So that's nice. Brass's Tunnel Grinder will also get a lot of cards into your graveyard at once, so that's a nice option. Now the thing about Brawl is there's not many cards that will like really take advantage of the graveyard, so to speak. We don't get Scrap Mastery or Goblin Welder or Duretti Scrap Savant. So just keep that in mind. Those are 3 cards that we can pick up along the way and make our deck like a little bit more better, and kind of test it out from there. But we still want to act as if we had all those, you know, juicy things at our disposal, because we want to kind of take this into a paper and present it into a paper form, where you could take it to your LGS and have fun. So in terms of this so far, we're looking pretty good. Like, there are new cards that just similarly just rip into your graveyard quite nicely. Dredger's Insight is one of those cards that does that. Also, Cash Grab is very good at that. So these are just very nice at building your graveyard in general. Additionally, I am getting a little bit more fond of the well, I've always liked it, the Esper Origins. Just a really sweet card. A little bit of rampies there. You get to like get some gas. You just really want to get this into your graveyard in general. You want to kind of get lucky and get it in your graveyard and just flash it back. It's really nice. What else? What else is some good value? Obviously, you want to focus on the graveyard artifacts with Meria. So, you know, these are good, but you also want to make sure you're sticking with your artifacts. You want to get a lot of value out of your artifacts. So in terms of any more artifacts, well, that is true. In terms of like, if you want to like get into your lands, if you want some land payoffs, you can also do that as well. So for instance, like an Aftermath Analyst is really nice. Additionally, a Lotus Cobra is really good. Just in general, because you can just, you know, play like kind of that fetch land angle. And Nissa is very good. Snake. Give a like for the snake. Also comment too, because I want you to be eligible for the Commander deck that we're giving away at 500 subs, Balthier and Fran. So make sure you comment. You will be eligible, and I want you to win. I want you to win. So you must win. One of you will. You'll be eligible simply by leaving a comment. All right, so Aftermath Analyst, let's kind of like go in this vein. It's kind of like an idea branch that's kind of stemming from over here, where we're building the graveyard, right? In a kind of a different manner or payoff. Some other cards that really kind of they're kind of new in that manner is the new Summon card. Oh, Fenrir does that as well. Fenrir is pretty cool. Summon Titan is really nice. In terms of just sheer volume, Awaken the Woods is an amazing card. That just brings out a lot of lands at once. That's good for like your Cobra and your Nissa. That's cool that that's in the Summon section. That's a nice pickup actually that I probably would have overlooked. Ashaya is kind of crazy because it turns all your creatures into lands too, so that's kind of a nice one. It's a really nice payoff for landfall. Additionally, Lumra loves to see stuff go in the grave, and actually does it itself, so that's nice. I think Fable the Mirror Breaker is pretty good in general. Kind of also just kind of accelerates you, kind of puts on some bodies. Now, I think we are just going to take a little bit of a step back here. Let's look at some landfall things real quick, and then we're going to kind of get into the nitty gritty. Oh, Bristly Bill is cool. Ride the Shoopuf. Basically, you want to play cards that can play from the top of your library. Meria loves that. She loves like exploration type effects, where she can start playing lands off the top and then impulsing into perhaps more lands if you want more lands. If you have like ways to play more lands, or if you want to play spells, get into spells from the top of your deck by impulsing off the top of your library. That's pretty good in that manner. Tifa is pretty amazing too. Like, not gonna lie, she's just kind of like just a win con, just that in 2 mana. Like, why? No one knows. Mossborn Hydra is kind of in that manner too, just kind of a really nasty card. But like I said, if you get too far away from your commander, you might not come back. Scoot Swarm in that manner is kind of cool in that way as well. Tireless Provisioner kind of gets really busy. Let's be honest. Meria does produce a lot of mana, guys, so you're not going to be really strapped too much for mana. You're going to be able to play most of your spells. And Gladiolus is really cool. I think we do want like some of the vehicles that kind of bring out lands too. Just, is there anything else that we really want to include in this pile? There's a landfall. There's also cards that let us play from the top, like Augur. Augur of Autumn is probably our best card in the deck, so let's just make a little slot kind of here, like the Augur of Autumn type effects for our deck. And there's a few. Experimental Frenzy is another type of card that gives us that Augur of Autumn vibes. Experimental Synthesizer is probably one of the better Meria cards. The fact that you kind of can impulse off of it and make mana. It like will do an impulse right when it comes on the battlefield, so you get to look at a card. Really good for landfall too, to like kind of get into more juice. Especially if you're going to play like an Asusa. Now Asusa, she does very well with the Augur of Autumn type effects. There's also a couple just artifacts that will do this too. Crucible of Worlds will let us play lands from our grave. Additionally, Conduit of Worlds will let us play lands from the grave. Conduit. And Ramunep Excavator. It's come off the screen. Let's put all the unearthed cards together. They're gas. And Ramunep Excavator. Cool. All right. So now we're building from our graveyard. We have all these different effects that we can let us play lands from our graveyard. Now here's the cards that like kind of enable more playing off the more from our library. Hot House. Hot House. There we go. Caselot Hot House. That'll let you play an additional land. And if you solve the case, you can play lands, creatures, and enchantments from the top of your deck. That's cool. Additionally, let me just make sure I'm just organizing this. Did I lose a card? Should be a 4 mana, right? There it is. Okay, so that's fine. Yep, that's organized nicely. Additionally, you're going to want like your, if we're going to be able to be playing lands from the graveyard, you want your additional land cards. For instance, like your Oracle of Moldiah, Dryad of Elysian Grove. So basically what I'm giving you is kind of like a... Loot is awesome too. You know, that is for certain. Dryad lets you play an additional land and lands your every basic, so it fixes your mana really well. I love that. That's really good. We need that. Need that as much as possible. Oracle of Moldiah is also very nice in that manner. Traveling Chocobo is also good in that manner for let you play off the top of your library. And honestly, loot is probably not the worst either, guys. Let's be honest. It's probably not that bad. Okay, so now Ancient Green Warden, of course. Yeah, that just doubles up your landfall, so of course that's very good as well. Okay, so there is a couple more vehicles in green that, well, in general, they'll be artifacts, and so they can be, you know, tapped for mana in certain circumstances. Otherwise, they're just gonna, Smuggler's Copter, that will help build our grave. So let's put the graveyard stuff over there. The Regalia, where's the Regalia? Huh. Maybe I dodged a copy of Regalia all along. Luckily we have the wild card for it. That'll just fetch up a basic from your library each time it attacks. That's fantastic. More lands, let's put it there. And obviously search Lumberjack, World Wagon. There you go. So there's your World Wagon in action. Just get it right there amongst your homies. Okay, and now the real juicy stuff. Oh, World Soul's Rage is cool too. Very cool, but you know, you have to be very dedicated in building your graveyard. So I think we picked up the Mesmeric Orb already. That's true. Underworld Breach is a hell of a card too. That can actually get you to some key cards, for sure. All right. So now we have kind of this landfall masterpiece, but the thing is that there's cards like Loot Now, which you have to get underneath them somehow. You have to cheat your mana. You have to get into some bigger stuff in a more efficient manner, right? I kind of wish we could play Kona in this deck, because you can see we have some pretty big cards here. And we have a couple vehicles, but it's definitely, Kona's more of a Balthier and Fran type of guy. You could do Meria vehicles. She's very good with vehicles too. And that would be kind of like a good entree into that. But you want to play cards such as this, like a Portal to Phyrexia. You want to get down to the nitty gritty. You don't want to be cute. You want to kind of just slam this down and remove a lot of your opponent's things, right? So that's kind of like a card that can be that card. Your Portal to Phyrexia could be the card that kind of gets you into that. But how do we get this out sooner than later? Well, if you have these cards here that kind of can put it away in some manner, that could be an avenue. There's also cards that will simply, as we say, loot or take from your hand and put it directly into your graveyard, right? So Inti is kind of that card, where it will let you freely discard from your hand. In exchange, it will give you a card to exile and play for that turn. In exchange, you also get a counter and make one of your creatures have trample. Nice. Also, Avora is also very good at doing this, to build a graveyard. Beautiful. So there's those three. Okay, so they're just kind of firing off. Then you want to have cards that kind of enable you to find things sooner than later. Gamble. Perfect. Gamble. You also want a Sylvan Tutor to find your Goblin Engineer. And let's look at Goblin Engineer. Now we're ready to kind of introduce our artifact enablers. There it is. So we have some really nice goblins here. This one will basically put a card in any artifact card in your graveyard if you have something to resurrect it freely, because this is limited to 3-costed artifacts, so be aware of that. You can have a card such as Duretti. For 5 mana, you simply exchange an artifact on your battlefield, and in exchange, you will get a awesome artifact from your graveyard. That's how you kind of equalize, is that you have these very powerful interactions, and if you pull them off, you kind of come away with the game. In this manner, you probably want to still play like a Tireless Provisioner now. Kind of makes sense to kind of get them treasures to sacrifice in that manner. Trash for Treasure is fantastic. Also, what is just really good is you have just Seize the Spoils, I think it's called, or Ragavan obviously is very good in this manner. There's just like the one red mana, there it is. Strike It Rich is sweet. And the card itself, yeah, we do have Trash for Treasure, and the Fable of the Mirror Breaker is pretty good for what we're doing. Now from this kind of line here where you have 40 lands, which is probably where you want to be, you want to fill this up with just like good solid ramp, like your Birds of Paradise. Halfling is really swell. I would say that you maybe want to stay away from your elves, because with your Nissas, you want to fetch up your Aftermath Analysts or your Elementals. So in that manner, I think we're doing pretty good. You're going to then want just like your Moxes, probably all the Moxes. These 2 Moxes. You're going to need some sort of removal. Bolt. I'd also say that what is it called? Frostbite and Blizzard Brawl are also exceptional. You could play Snow. And I think the other really good artifacts for Meria, Howling Mind is really good. That's some really nice card advantage. I think like the swords are pretty good with just like the Sword of Forge and Frontier, I think is pretty swell with your like as a toolbox card for your Goblin Engineer. And guys, that is kind of that is just the way we do it. And this is your deck here. And that's about where it comes down to. Let's see how this kind of lined up. I mean, these 1-drops and these Graveyard Enablers kind of got, slided upon. You have your sweet Unearth cards over here. This one is cool. It's kind of like lets you play from your graveyard lands, and that's really good with like your Asusas and all these other creatures that let you play more and more lands. So, what a deck. I think this is the one. The one. The one. It is the one. Now the land base, not too tricky, I'd say. I mean, you want to have some of these. Let's see, like you want your Highland Forest as a snow land for sure. You want your Verges, you want your kind of nice duels. Rockfall Vale probably makes the cut. Stomp is cool too. But you can't be too cute, guys. You might be able to play a Bridgeworks battle, but if you're playing like the Frostbite and the Blizzard Brawl, which are really exceptional, you really have to make sure that your snow lands are good. So let's go to our search lands. These are like your fetch lands, and you want to play all the ones that can come in untapped. Base Aju is also a really good channel land because it can just become in untapped. And I have to be very, exclusive to this, because if you want to win in Brawl, it's really competitive, guys. You can't take any turns off at all. You really can't. I can't stress that enough. You have to sequence perfectly I mean, you have to imagine you're going to be playing against cards like Vivi. And that card is not messing around. Let's see. Let's just go through ad here. Arena of Glory, Dwarven Mine, Lindblom. Silken Zen is fine. Hazard is kind of an interesting choice, really. Could hit Ragavans, which is really interesting, actually. Smashing is pretty good. Garenbrig. I wish. Shifting Woodland is also kind of like one of those interesting ones. Where you can like animate like you know, in like an enabler, like in a frenzy, for instance, and kind of go off. Yeah, I kind of like that. I also like a reservoir as like kind of also a backup plan. Aetherflux Reservoir. Instead of the reservoir, what do we cut in that manner? None of the cuts seem like very fun to me, I'll be honest, but we already had like, you know, 39 lands already, so. Tifa is kind of still just chilling there. We're not really built exactly for a Tifa deck, but she just, the lands, they just add up. You know, what can you say? Strike it rich, I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be making enough treasures. We might get a little bit slower than that, and that could bite us. I'm not going to lie. It might just bite our booties. Probably maybe one of these could go. Cash Grab or Dredger's Insight. Yeah, I don't want to really go under 40 lands with a landfall deck. It just doesn't really make sense to me. I do like the idea of just pinging the opponent for 50 damage to the face, too. I think the Provisioner will get us there with treasures and such. So I think I'm okay with it getting the Fable off. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Alright. Back to add lands. You could probably just hit the land button and it'll probably do the same effect, really. I love Zenark End, but I'm not sure. Balagad, probably kind of an effective card. Probably worth playing as a tap land, actually. More like a spell. Same with Disciple, just, you know, crazy value. And I think we'll pick up a pathway. A Karplusan Forest. Probably a Rootbound Crag. We're going to want a Command Tower. Cavern of Souls. Faithless Haven, I wish. But really, we can't take any turns off in this two-color deck. Mana Confluence. Plaza. It's kind of interesting. Might bite us, too. Spire, I wish, too, but sometimes those can bite you as well. Mycosynth is kind of a I wish. Like, I wish I could play this card, but I mean, in those two land openers that are real juicy and you're just off mana, it's just a nightmare. Alright guys, so now we're going to add our snow. And it looks like it's pretty evenly spaced out. Kind of be delicate here because you don't want to make any like wrong clicks and remove a land that you don't really know what it was. How are we feeling? 10 and 10 is pretty decent. Even 9 and 9 for the snow lands is pretty good. Okay. Be pretty happy with the 9 and 9. Get rid of the veil. Get rid of the crag. And I think we're pretty happy here with an 8 and 8. Shifting woodland is kind of a risky one. Soaking zone. Really want to make sure our stuff is turned on for Blizzard Brawl. So, get rid of some tokens, I guess. Are you guys ready to sleeve it up? Let's do this one. It feels good. Alright guys, you've made it this far. Congratulations. This is my deck. I call it the one. And we just built this. If you did skip through it, and I will put the timestamps. And I'm just going to get into the deck. And I hope you enjoy the gameplay. If you do, remember to like and subscribe and comment, because you will be eligible for the 500 subscriber deck giveaway. Perhaps we can make this the 750 subscriber giveaway. I swear to God, if you guys make a comment, say yes, let's do this one for the 750. Let's do it. And once we hit 500, I'll start monitoring the comments in the videos, and we'll choose a video by random, and then we'll spin a wheel for the comments in that particular video. And if you happen to comment on that video, you'll be eligible for a sweet commander deck. And we'll probably even include the fetch lands in here. Why not? It will probably be like a $500 deck. Maybe that will be it. Maybe that will be like 1,000 subscribers then. That'd make more sense. Blake, slow down. Slow down. I'm just thinking of the numbers in my head. I'm like, oh, this deck on Moxfield is going to be like $800. I just the vision, the Cavern of Souls and stuff is in my mind. Cavern, all the fetch lands is like, that's like $300, $400 already. But I still want to give away a commander deck on every 250 increment though. This one's a big one for the 500, so it's going to be like a $200 Balthier and Fran deck. But again, yeah, we'll definitely kind of try to keep it consistent in that manner. Seems fine to me. I don't hate it. But guess what, guys? It's fucking VV, excuse my language. And you know what? You have to kill it now. You have to kill this Ragavan. I can't wait. Because it's not going away. It ain't going away. Evora. Oh, I love all these cards so much. They're so interesting, all of these choices. Evora's gonna like scale up pretty nicely with the Mutt. So I kind of like the Mutt actually first. Oddly enough. Just because with Meria I can start tapping it for mana. So let's start there. They don't care. I think it's the conduit. So Vivi's coming, which is bad for us. I perhaps could have had the Frostbite for this sucker, but I can't let Ragavan take over either. You know, it's kind of like a lose-lose situation. And they pretty much take it away from this. Usually they get this to about 5 power now, and there's not really much like I said, the portal to Phyrexia is a card. You know, if we could like maybe hunt down that portal, get it into our grave, find like a, you know, for instance, a way to resurrect it, then that is a different thing altogether. You know, that's a way to remove the VV. Kind of a tamer VV, I'm not gonna lie. They haven't like they haven't like pumped its power up. You know, there's so many spells that, or are they still doing that? Okay, so that was that. So not the worst VV I've seen, not the scariest one. I mean, land. Yeah, Meria is not really doing too much on this particular matchup, is she? I guess we go hunt for some portals. There's really no... I mean, I get a little more buff, right? Yeah, you have to like... You have to break parity with this card. You have to get... You know, you have to have like your sweet cards in the grave. They're still like not doing the BB thing yet. They have a ton of mana here, so they could take turns. They're doing that. Really? Am I at war? What? Okay. My world wagon. I'm gonna shuffle that away. I wanna like surveil into something decent. Nope, I already played my surveil land. Not too good. My halfling not that great. So they're on a very weak form of VV. I mean, the VV I know is like infuriate and these spells that will just make your head spin and like you're dead. You dead. So they're out there, guys, and they're real nasty. We're kind of getting like a layup on our first match here. I mean, even with a layup, it looks like we're just gonna die. But trample now? That sucker has trample? Dang. That's 10 damage, man. Oh, I'm alive. That's crazy. Portal. I actually can't get 2 looks here with the Inti. Nope, it's not it. Do I have any sweet artifacts in there? See, that's when you need the portal man. And you just do it. I wish I had haste on this sucker. Okay, so first match doesn't count. Ragavan is cheat. And I can't wait to play VV at the LGS. I cannot wait to play against someone that has VV at the LGS so we can just get them. Oh, don't show up to the LGS with the VV because I'm gonna be politicking you out. Probably wouldn't matter. And a good VV list. I don't know what's worse, VV or Nadu. That would be like a matchup I'd love to see. I'd love to see it. You go first with a hot start. Nissa into Oracle. That's the thing with Meria. She's just kind of chilling. You know, she's waiting for you to kind of produce some artifacts and get into some artifacts. And, wow, we have some options here, don't we? Alright, opponent. You have to be doing some stuff, yeah. They always have it. They always have it. Traveling Choco Daddy. 1, 2, 3. Or Oracle Moldaya. Oracle Moldaya has a really high upside. Both of them are fine though. In this manner, we're going this way. Okay. Not so far. It's okay. You can play with, we got a crucible effect too. Signal. And other complete haters. I need to keep our land gas flowing. Do this. Keeping the pressure on. They had 1-for-1 removal each instance. Can they toxic deliver? Okay, that's a great card. I have that in my deck as well. Oh, Arboreal Grazer, I forgot about that one. That one's pretty sweet. Okay, so like we can start trying to play lands from the top of our deck. We don't have any artifacts at this time. There's the land. Big juicy board. Yeah, they took all our sweet threats away. And this, it's like the usual. I think there's like 2 ways to go about Meria. You could like really go heavy into like the protection artifacts, like Swiftfoot boots and stuff. Yeah, you could do that. You can do that route. I mean, I think this is a very powerful thing, though, just the landfall in general, that kind of gruel landfall. I like the fact that the Chocobo can kind of just, like, get that value, you know? We don't have anything really going on much turn either, so just block. Let's just decline it for now. Try to get our delirium up, I think. Creature land sorcery. It's a disaster. Well, I just took a sorcery away. Good job. And this is kind of like the frustration portion of, like, when you're trying to bring two decks together and, like, oh, I can move that card over. Like, that's what I could use, you know. And there's only so much you can do, you know, like, if they're removing your stuff and you're, like, kind of whiffing on stuff too, it makes it much harder. The deck is definitely missing, like, some sort of removal, like some sort of way for the artifacts to kind of do something as well, I think. And it's not like there's a ton of, like, artifact removal that is decent. So, like, for instance, if we go to, like, 3 damage, right? And we just press artifact. Chainsaw. That's pretty sweet. That's a rare one. Glamdring is kind of interesting too. Kind of interesting, really. Oh, chainsaw. That's sweet. And we never hate, like, a Swiftfoot Boots and a Lava Spur Boots. And if there is redundancy, I would say you definitely want the Crucible effects. The Traveling Chocobo kind of pops, though, I'm not going to lie. I think it's a little bit better than a Dryad. Well, this is additional lands, right? Kind of like your additional lands. Caselot's Hothouse is a little bit of a slower burn, so I don't know if it's fast enough for what we're doing. And the Perennial Behemoth is just cool because you can get it from your graveyard, so that's nice. These really juice up the graveyard, the Cash Grab and your Esper Origin, but they are not artifacts, are they? Let's keep one of them. Let's keep the Cash Grab because it can get you... It can get you any permanent, right? I'm curious to see how many artifacts, like, a good Meria should have probably like about 30, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 21, 22, 23. A little bit light, a little bit on the lighter side of artifacts. This is an additional land as well, right? Okay. I think that's... Should be fine with our crucible effects. We like those. Man, these are kind of competing, but they're all so good. They just pop. They're very valuable. The ones that let you play additional lands are really strong. Frenzy would have done well in that last game. Would have done really well. You know what else is good is the ring. The ring kind of like can bring parity to your deck and get you there. Can stop opponent for a turn, and you can set up and win. It's really strong. I do love this Dragonblade Chocobo Daddy. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. I really like the Regalia. It is a nice artifact. Repeatable ramp. You know, I think we have enough kind of Crucible-like effects, but we do prefer those with like a Sousa, for sure. And I think we prefer them a little bit more from the plain spells from the top. I do like this one because it will give me a landfall trigger, an additional landfall trigger. Let's try to lose a Corsair. And we are really close, I think. Yeah, even have like a nice mana sink, like Awaken the Woods seems really nice. Esper Origins, huh? It's a pretty big banger, isn't it? I don't know if it's what we're doing. Alright. Last game, guys. Thanks again for joining me today. The one. And I have that nice Meria art there. Nice little black banner, white font. And we'll have a paper deck tech soon. Can't wait to get that Discord, guys. Cannot wait. It's just killing it. We love to go first. We just love it. This looks like kind of a Meria game. It kind of does, it looks to me. Especially with the reservoir. Meria resolves. And then we have mana drain next turn. We don't not have mana drain. We can kind of get into some stuff next turn. Are we going to Rampage? I have 6 mana available next turn. I really want this Tifa. Just kind of off a little bit. Beautiful. Looks like I can use these as forests, which is crazy. These are lands now, so they're not affected by Cyclonic Rift.
You don't mind if I take my octopus for a walk? Nature flows with
Cavern of Souls. How about monkey? Monkey? Let's do elf. She's gonna be strong. Should we swing in first? I can play this as a land too, right? What am I gonna am I gonna sacrifice Tifa? I think I should attack first. Then decide. Right? Gotta be Tifa. Oh. Discard a card. It's a tough decision. I'm already at Portal Phyrexian mana. Come on. Alright, Oppo. Here you go. What do you think is going to happen, guys? Opponent is still swinging. Negate!
To make a splash.
Oh, not that. I want to play the portal, right? Kind of makes sense to do it, to go for it. I do want to tap my. How much life do I have? I could go for the reservoir win. I'm so close to that. Let's go for the reservoir, guys. Let's do this right. That's one life. They got something over there, don't they? Let's go a little bit of Volatile Wanderglyph. Let's get a little bit of mana from our stuff. Oh, sorry. I would like to tap a non-token artifact, which would be this. And I'm going to get rid of the Green Warden. That's a chainsaw. That's kind of fun. Let's get this colored mana out of our pool. I think I'm going to hit my own creature with that if I have to target something. Otherwise, I'll target nothing. We're at 39 life, so we're getting very close. Do I have red mana? I do. Let's go to the face. Pierce. So they had a pierce. That's fine. Decline. And unfortunately, I can no longer play my mutt. What we can do is we still can play the mine. God, we are so close. I think we did it, guys. I just need to play this one. Oh yeah, we definitely did it. Yes, guys, we did it! Let's go! Go! Oh, guys, I can't tell you how much this victory means to me. Like and subscribe, guys. Share with your friends. Oh, I'd love this to get big. I'd love this, some people to see this. At least that game. And just the power, man. Oh, the one. She showed up. The client said, hey, you're not quite done yet, man. You need to put in a little action here. A little chainsaw. It was over, baby. It was over. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. I greatly appreciate all support to 500 and beyond. Let's go. Bye-bye.